So it is my pleasure here tonight to be able to lead a discussion about the film with the filmmakers and with Brooke Mullins herself. So without further ado, please welcome Brooke Mullins and the filmmakers Robert and Jari Osborne. What our plan is, I'm going to ask just a couple of questions that I'm interested in learning about, and then we'll turn over to questions to you folks in the audience, if that's okay. Brooke, I wanted to ask you, first of all, you have obviously been in touch with Global Affairs Canada during this whole ordeal, and I wanted to ask you about your experience dealing with them. Have they acknowledged your hard work that you've done on your own, and have they been of any assistance to you during this process at all?
I'm curious to know if anyone that I invited showed up from the government. Can you raise your hand? Anyone came? No, I don't think so. No, I didn't think so. I called him my handler. My first global affairs contact, named Ahmad, was amazing. He ended up quitting and moving on because he even found the work troublesome and difficult in the best of days. No, they don't care. And I think that's what people need to realize. Like, I love Mexico. I planned on retiring there myself. I just think people need to know that if something goes wrong, if you go missing or your loved one does, you're on your own because Canada's not going to help.
Yes, sir. You here in the front, second row here.
Thank you. You're aware of some of the ravages, a dramatic word, of the effect on so many people. But what gives you that arrow to go and pursue justice?
Did everybody hear that? The gentleman spoke very clearly, very loudly. What gives Brooke the perseverance to continue her quest for justice? You know, we're 4 years into this and it's, still going on. So what is it that drives you?
I've connected with a lot of other families that are in the same boat that have missing loved ones and they haven't gotten as far as I am. And I just feel like I gotta take one for the team. You gotta keep going. Honestly, it's that simple. I'm really lucky. In a weird, horrible way, I'm really lucky.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more. Yes, here. The question is, do we believe that Marcella's family has any real idea where Malcolm's remains are?
So we've probably gone through 3 possible plea deals now. They never asked for money, they just asked for a lesser sentence. The most recent time we visited this possibility, she admitted that she doesn't actually know where my father's body is, which I always believed. I believe they hired 3 people that did the job. I think they brought the body parts to prove that the job was done. I don't know if it was clear, like, it was never confirmed that they were his, but it was confirmed there was a drug that would have knocked someone out in the parts. So I do still believe they were his parts. So she just had her last opportunity. We just came up to that, and she had nothing to offer. So we are going to be going to trial probably in the next 3 or 4 months.
We have time for one more?
Sure.
Yeah. One more question. Yes. Here.
Is there justice anywhere?
Is there justice anywhere?
Well, I'd have to say that I've spent a lot of time researching the level of corruption in Mexico, and certainly in any justice system there are flaws. There may even be corruption, but it's a matter of scale. And I talked to this law professor in the United States who's a former judge from Colombia who knows a little bit about corruption. And she has done a lot of studying looking at corruption in Mexico. And her theory is that it has become endemic to the system as a means of economic survival for them. So, for example, you've got this massive police force at one level who are being paid a pittance. They should be being paid twice as much. But now built into the system is we'll only pay them half because they'll shake down people for the other half. And that will trickle upwards all the way. And she's done a lot of work on this. And presents a very convincing argument. So, yes, of course there's corruption everywhere, but there's nowhere else in the world where only 2% of the violent crimes ever see a trial. Mexico is like that. So it's again, it's just the scale of corruption. It's off the scale.
With that note,
With that cheerful
note, let's all fight for justice, and let's all have a good Sunday night. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much for coming.